portrait. And ought not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan bound for 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath day? As Jesus said this, all his adversaries were put to shame, and all the people rejoiced at all the glorious things that were done by him. Today, in our society, for many of us, our jobs don't really end when we leave work. Oftentimes, our work follows us home. We have to send emails, make phone calls, grade papers, be on call in case of emergency. And for the younger people, schoolwork doesn't end when you leave school. You have homework, sports, band, all sorts of stuff. Sometimes the stress of our jobs and our schoolwork can be a lot to carry. Like the woman in today's gospel, we too may feel bent over, not fully being able to straighten ourselves. The burden and the stress from all we have going on in our lives make us feel hunched over. We feel the physical effects of the pressure and stress society places on us. Our backs get tight, we have tension, pain, and knots. We go see all sorts of doctors, take medicine, get x-rays done. Sometimes we need those things. Other times, what we really need is to free ourselves from the bondage of the stress and cares around us, laying aside all earthly cares so that we receive the King, our God, the true physicians of our souls and bodies. Our Lord, in his infinite wisdom, gave us the Sabbath day for rest. For this exact reason, a day to give thanks to Christ, a day to receive his body and blood, a day to free us from bondage of sin and hope of life eternal. He gave us this day to rest, a day to break free from the stresses of our day-to-day lives. Sometimes we use the Sabbath day as a day to catch up on stuff we have to do. We say to ourselves, I worked all week, I have no other time but Sunday. So we stay home, we do yard work, we fix things around the house, maybe watch football, maybe take our child to a sporting event or a band event. These things aren't necessarily bad to do on Sunday. It would be silly if I stood here and said on Sundays you're never allowed to send any work emails or do any homework, participate in sporting events. But if those worldly tasks are coming before our Lord, coming before our salvation, then we may need to reevaluate where our priorities are. The church gives us different times of the year to help us heal us of our infirmity, to help loose us from the bondage of sin, to help make us whole again, that we may walk upright in his ways and not bent over, weighed down with sin and the cares of the world. During this season of Advent, we are preparing ourselves in preparation for our Lord to come at Christmas. Not little baby Jesus in a manger, but the Son of God, who came to be crucified, so that we can be fully healed and made whole again in his heavenly kingdom. Unfortunately, our society, our culture around us, doesn't share the same understanding the church has with the season of Christmas. The church says, use this Advent fast as an opportunity to free ourselves from the bondage of sin and death, an opportunity to come to more services, an opportunity to be freed from our infirmity, by God's forgiveness and love through confession, an opportunity to be healed removing the stress and cares of our everyday lives, that we may walk upright, finding peace with Christ, praising Him. The culture around us, media, co-workers, say the complete opposite. Keep busy with anything you possibly can. Keep busy with shopping. Keep busy with parties. Keep busy with decorations. We go crazy trying to make every single thing perfect. All while we are becoming weighed down, hunched over, trying to keep everything around us. And we forget the most important part, the glory and gravity of our Lord's birth. He comes to make us all the sons and daughters of God, to extend to us all the blessings and joy of His heavenly kingdom, to loose us from our weakness and infirmity, and to conquer sin and death in us. My brothers and sisters in Christ, let us not remain stooped over, bound, enslaved, disagreed. Today, let us be healed by Christ, not just by the laying on of His hands. He loves us even more than that. He voluntarily went to His death, was crucified and died on the cross, giving us His body and blood, that we will partake of it for the healing of soul and body, so that we may walk upright in His ways all the days of our lives. Use the remaining weeks of this holy season to prepare, to receive Christ, the one who heals us, the one who sets us free. Today, let us refocus our lives, ensuring our love for Christ, our salvation, takes precedence over anything else in our lives. Let us embrace our spiritual disciplines with joy, fighting our passions and serving Christ and our neighbors, especially those who are lonely and in need. Christ is born, freeing us from sickness and sin. Let us glorify Him by living as those who have found new life, and our Lord Jesus Christ, the one who comes to us at Christmas. Amen.